All right, so another age-old question that has stood the test of time has to do with the tallest building in the city. And this has been a topic that comes up every year, but it's hitting the Reddits this week. Very unscientific poll. Do you have strong feelings on calling it the Sears versus the Willis Tower? If so, what is your age? And I think this is an interesting question. This is like the essence of Reddit right here. This is an artist that asked this question. The artist is doing a proposal for a mural, and they want to know your age, because I do feel like this may be a very age-dependent response.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what I mean? So your experience here in the city, what is your kind of default?
Well, you know, my parents will still call it the Sears Tower, even though they're not technically from Chicago. I go back and forth because I want to respect both parties, right? I have to be correct on air, so I have to say,
I
have to say Willis.
You have to be accurate.
But I'll throw in Sears Tower every so often. One, because that's first what comes to mind. I have to like catch myself and say Willis Tower. But I'll get messages. I've gotten a couple saying, hey, and they're playful messages and they're sweet, but hey, just so you know, we still call it the Sears Tower. It's so funny.
So I have kind of made a low-key point out of calling it the Sears, even though I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
On the air, we do have to be accurate. But I've never heard a complaint from anyone of me calling it Sears. Now, there's a couple other buildings where this is happening. And by the way, there's some interesting responses. One of them on that Reddit thread made the point that psychologically, between the ages, this is I'm just regurgitating, don't blame the messenger here, but between the ages of 18 and 20, you kind of lock into certain things. Yeah, here it is right here. Oh my gosh,
Makes
Jenna,
sense.
you were so quick on the draw here. All right, there's a psychological theory that sort of says certain feelings of what's right and wrong. Oh, sorry, 19 and 21. Becoming adult fully, which is roughly in the age of 19, 21, the point when you process. So your strong feelings kind of lock in.
Interesting.
So wherever you are between age 19 to 21, you know what I've noticed
That's a small
is
gap.
with music. It's like what you are drawn to a lot of times when you're a younger person or in these formative years, you get you hear about adults getting stuck in a decade. I've got an aunt and uncle where it's like their style seems to have stuck in a certain their home decor and their taste in music.
I also have an uncle
you know what I mean?
like that. Yeah.
Exactly. It kind of locks in. It makes me think, what decade did I get stuck in? Probably in the 2000s.
I feel like you're cool enough, Anthony, where you have you've kept up with the trends, my man.
Keep that coming. You will.
But what are
flattery will get you everywhere.
I mean, I can't think on top of my head what other buildings are now they're switching, because
it's not the John Hancock Center.
You're right.
It's just the address,
875 North Michigan. And I messed that up when I went to segments there.
Who is ever going to not call it the John Hancock? Because like, it's one thing to go from Sears to Willis where there's an actual name.
Yeah, that's true.
But you can't ask folks to go from a proper name, the John Hancock Center, to just like a number and an address. No. You can't do that. You guys over at 875 North Michigan, you got to come up with another name, and then we might be sold.
They've changed recently guaranteed rate to just rate fields.
It's a good move.
It is a good move, actually. But still, of course, I'm going to call it guaranteed rate just because it's in my head.
And then since I'm twice as old as you,
exactly.
I'm Comiskey.
The old people.
You know what? Actually, exactly. It's okay. So yeah, actually, I did, full disclosure, I have gone from Comiskey to just calling it Sox Park.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because it wasn't it something before? Yeah, because it was U.S. Cellular Field, and then it was the Cell, and then it was guaranteed rate, and then now it's just rate. So that's too many lily pads for me to hop from one to one. So I'm going with Sox Park, and unless like a lot of viewers or the bosses upstairs tell me otherwise.
I know we're getting off topic now.
What I go with.
But I didn't know that you were a Sox fan. I thought since you're a Northsider that you'd be a Cubs fan.
No, I was a Sox fan in enemy territory growing up as well.
Love that.
I grew up in the northern suburbs. Little known fact, my dad, my brother, and I, we sang the National Anthem on opening day at Comiskey Park.
Please tell me you have that
on
tape.
It's on YouTube. I'll have Jenna and Delaney pull it up one of these days.
Okay. Wow, Anthony. So
my brother he's a pro. I can sing on tune. I can make contact with the ball. But my brother started a pretty well-known a cappella group that still sings to this day. They go to the Chicago. They're called Straight No Chaser. With him there, I felt like totally comfortable because he knew how to like conduct us, because there's a big reverb. I'm
Okay.
going off on a tangent right now, but you have an earpiece, but you know when you don't have mixed minus in your ear
Yes,
and you
I
hear
do.
your own echo? It's a really frustrating thing that happens from time to time here in broadcasting, but you have to account for that. That was the hardest
Interesting.
part
I
about
would have never known that,
Yeah.
obviously, because I am horrible at singing.
You are?
I'm absolutely horrible.
Okay. Well, yeah, Sox fan for sure. And then I'm trying to think are there any other buildings that come to
I
mind
don't-
where it's like Willis,
drawing a blank.
Sears, John Hancock, they changed, like the Jane, oh my gosh.
Here it is. All right, quiet on set.
From NBC Chicago, Anthony Ponce, his brother from WGN Television, as well as from the national recording a cappella group Straight No Chaser, Dan Ponce, and their father, the Studs Terkel award-winning host of ChicagoNOW on WTTW, Bill Ponce, for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so softly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose cross stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er our ramparts did we walk, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, they through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Anthony Ponce, wow, you are a man of many talents. I was
that brought
thinking
back
maybe you were by
memories.
one of the concession stands, like with your. No, you were actually, and it was filled in there. It wasn't like the game I went to a couple weeks ago.
It was opening day. And I remember, if memory serves, I feel like there was supposed to be a flyby, an
Yeah.
aerial flyby that had to be canceled at the last second. But it was a big deal.
That's electric.
Woo, I got
man.
nervous just watching that, guys. Thanks for pulling it up.
That
But yeah.